So today we are going all the way back to 1973. Let's talk The Exorcist. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we're now in day 3 of my 31 days of Halloween, and we're looking at maybe one of the scariest movies ever made. So The Exorcist is a 1973 American supernatural horror film. It's directed by William Friedkin and it's written from the screenplay and the novel by William Peter Blatty. Now the movie also stars Linda Blair, Jason Miller, Ellen Burstyn and Max von Sydow. Now what's interesting about the film is when it was first released it caused a huge scene at the time. So the Catholic Church were kind of trying to get the movie banned at the time. There were reports of people fainting during different screenings throughout the US, and as well as that the movie made huge box office numbers. A lot of that is down to the marketing of the movie. You could even say this is the first viral marketing hit. The movie was also the most successful horror movie of all time up until recently in 2017 where Stephen King's It took its spot. And one of the many reasons in my opinion why it did so well is actually down to the casting. So Ellen Burstyn, she actually stars as Chris McNeil, so she's kind of the mother of the possessed Regan in the film, and honestly she gives a powerhouse performance. The character kind of goes through this traumatic ordeal as she slowly sees her daughter waste away and become this demonic figure. The character goes through an almost traumatizing arc throughout the movie as we see her kind of desperately try to tell people that her daughter is sane, both proving her innocence as well as her own. And the same can be said for Linda Blair and Jason Miller. So Linda Blair in particular, both her and Ellen Burstyn actually suffered severe back injuries on set. But with Linda Blair, she was only 14 when she was making this movie. A lot of people question, number one, if a 14-year-old and particularly a 12-year-old character could carry a movie on this scale, but she does carry it off. As we slowly kind of watch as she kind of begins this descent, as the demonic forces I suppose take over her body, you do believe this is happening to her. You must remember, although at times the voice isn't hers, she is the one in that bed and portraying this character. That's another thing I really enjoy with the movie, is Linda Blair's character Regan. She kind of starts the movie off as this quite innocent character. She's a very gentle being at the start of the movie, and to see her slowly change as the film goes on, to see the kind of vulgarities that come out of her mouth, and he actually does in the film, are absolutely shocking. As for Jason Miller, so he plays Father Damien in the movie, and he's kind of this tragic character that is slowly watching his mother die, and he kind of carries this tragedy up until the point where the demon actually uses that against him. Now one interesting thing about Jason Miller is when he was making the movie, William Friedkin, the director, used to actually fire blanks throughout the set to constantly keep him on edge. And he does this kind of throughout the entire movie. He constantly wanted to keep his actors on set so they constantly were fragile, so they're constantly on the lookout to see what's going to happen next. Max von Sydow as well, he's kind of in mainly the start of the movie and the end, but I absolutely love when he comes into the film. He kind of adds this grandeur to the film, and even the battle between him and the demon towards the end of the movie, it has this epic scale to it. It's this big fight between good and evil. Another great thing about the movie, of course, are the practical effects. What I love about watching this movie is no matter how many times I watch it, it still grasps me. You watch a lot of movies today, particularly possession movies or ghost story movies, and you can clearly tell that a lot of it is CGI. There's a scene in the movie where Regan actually gets lifted up from the bed, and no matter how many times I watch it, it still grabs me. I still wonder kind of how they are doing it. Now it's done of course through wire work, but it's just a small thing I noticed that when I'm watching things today, I don't even consider how people are being lifted up. When I watch The Exorcist, that still hits me. We also of course get the infamous head twist, but the more shocking parts of the movie are actually the words that Regan uses when she is possessed. There are certain words in this movie that honestly would not be in films today. Even certain scenes in this film are still quite shocking. There's a lot of stuff in this that if you made a movie today, they would never think of putting it in. And I think that's what adds to it. That's kind of what makes it scary, that it is kind of a movie that does push the boundaries, especially in 1973 when you think about the Catholic Church and the amount of pull that they actually had in both the US and around the world. Most people definitely believed in the devil and Satan, so the majority of their audiences going to see this movie believed in what was on screen. All in all, The Exorcist is still one of the scariest movies ever made, and I love that a movie that's almost 50 years old can still give me the same creeps it did when I first watched it. A lot of horror movies today can't actually do that. As I said, it did hold a record as the biggest rated horror movie of all time up until just recently, and it should kind of be commended for that. A lot of people forget that The Exorcist was actually nominated for an Oscar, and many believe that it should have won Best Picture. The movie is one of those rare examples where everything comes together perfectly. The casting and the performance from the actors is top notch in this movie. The directing and the practical effects all kind of add up to be this terrifying, surreal and raw experience. Of course guys, if you haven't ever seen The Exorcist, I highly recommend you go check it out. If you're a fan of horror movies, you generally would have seen it. But if not guys, go check out the movie and let me know what you thought of it. If you've seen the movie, if you've seen it countless times, let me know what you love about the movie, or do you think it's overrated? Next up guys, we're going to be looking at Trick or Treat. So it is a slight change in the schedule. I was going to do Sleepaway Camp, but honestly I just wanted to watch a good old-fashioned Halloween movie. I will still be doing Sleepaway Camp. I've never seen the movie before, so I am excited to watch it. I just want to give myself time to sit down and give it a proper watch. If you haven't already guys, subscribe to the channel. I am going to be doing 31 videos for the month of October, so this is pretty much the best time to check out the channel. As always guys, if you are subscribed, if you've seen the content already and you want to see more, pop on that notification bell just so you don't miss anything else, and I will see you in the next one.